Hi guys, today we're going to World Zoological Park. They've got one of the best bird shows in the world where all the birds fly freely. It's one of the biggest in the UK and the world. So, I'm going with one of my granddads called Pop, and I hope you enjoy. Hi guys, as you can see we're in the car park. It doesn't look like there's a zoo there, but there's lots of shops surrounding it. And as you can see there's a pub there and there's a pub over there where we had some food. And if you look down the bottom of the path, you'll see this little place in here. This is what it looks like. There's the gift shop. There's some more down the other side. But as we check in, we go through here, through all the cool reptiles. And there's a snake in there actually, didn't realise that. And there's even caiman on the other side. And yeah, that's basically the building. Tons of spiders and tarantulas. Hi guys, and yeah, as you go through this tunnel, there's a bird here, and then there's a gate. And if you go through the gate, which is here, there is some wallabies, and I'm pretty sure it's an emu. Here you can see, I think it's red-necked wallabies there. There's one, two. There, they're really cute. I've got a picture if you want to see. And I also got one of the emu. Here they are. Those are the two photos, and I hope you like them. And then here's a little view of the habitat over here. I think it's really nice, personally. There he is, look at him. Looking, isn't he? Yeah, but if you look around here, it's quite a big habitat, very nicely well made. And then there's a bird habitat we're going to get to in a minute. However, I didn't get any footage due to feeding the birds, which I do have a picture, which I'll show you before we go in. Yeah, hope you enjoy. Right about when you're about to turn, there's some cute birds there. Not very big, but like them, and then the cockatoos, different coloured birds and everything. It's really cool. As we're about to go in the bird habitat, she would give us a little pot of food, and then we would go in. This is from the inside, and this is the photo I got. That is the photo. It's sideways, so you might have to turn your phone, but then yeah. Then there's some more birds there. Then the other side of the exhibit, as you walk out through the tunnel, there's this, and there is a large raccoon-looking animal in there. However, we didn't manage to see it. Really sad about that, because I saw it last time, but I don't think I got a picture, or it was on my old phone. But yeah, as you walk through, you go to the parrot enclosure, but instead we turn, and there's another little view of the enclosure. As we turn and look into that enclosure, there's some red ibis. And then we head round to where all the macaws and where normally the hairy armadillo is. And there also is some little monkeys in there as well. As we enter that enclosure, there is normally for the hairy armadillo, and then that enclosure in front of us is for the burrowing owl, which we didn't see. That enclosure for the armadillo, well, he was about to do a show outside, as you can see in a little bit. He was out there instead of in there. And as you walk around, there's also some macaws up in the trees. Then as I look to see if I can see him, when he's not there, when he's not in his hut, however, I think his hut needs a little bit of cleaning. I don't think I saw him in there. There's another view of the armadillo thing. No, I don't think he's in there. Then we come back around here, then just macaws, and I think that's just plants in that area. But nothing in there. I think it's a work in progress. I think they're redoing it. And if you look up, there's a macaw up there. You can see him right at the top of the canopy area. And see if we can see him. Oh, and yeah, there is a lizard up there. I can see him, but Pop could. There he is. I'm going blind. It's an iguana of some sort. And then if we look up, there's a macaw up there. Beautiful bird. And then there's some monkeys coming up, which are here. Here they are. And there, look at him in the window. There he is. Really cute looking out. And there's another coming across. That might be the same one. I don't think it is though. And then as you leave, there's some more. Look at him though, trying to get a picture. I am. And then you come over here, and there is some more. Here, there. I'll show you the pictures I got now. There are the pictures. They're not very good, but they look better without the collage. But there you go. There's some more cranes there. In here are some small clawed otters and what would be a binturong, but he is out for the show in a couple of minutes. And there is also an Asian palm civet which we couldn't see, and we couldn't see the otters until we looked right down below when someone told us, and there they are. How cute they look. And as we carry on walking, you can see here, I did meet a fluffy guy here earlier, and there is some things where you could hold snakes last time, not this time, but I'm going to show you a picture of me holding the binturong after we've seen the meerkats. Well, not holding it, sorry, I was high-fiving it, if you want to see that. Oh, look at them, all the meerkats in there. Yeah, there they are. Alright, I'll show you guys now. That's the picture, and as we carry on with the meerkats, they look really good. The enclosures were really good and really well made as well. Definitely better than last time. And there he is, standing up, all cute, fluffy little guys. Oh, look at him. Looks really funny, but yeah, it was really good. And then as you turn around and carry on walking, you can see meerkats. Just say meerkat live, so I'm wondering if there's a meerkat live cam. Oh, sorry for the glitch. And then as you walk through here, there's some lemurs, and then tons of birds in there. And lemurs, they're all there. And we will later do a lemur walk, which I think would be really cool. And as we turn around to look at the birds, one of my favourite animals is in there. Not that bird, it's a crested crown crane. I think it has a name, it's in that enclosure. Then we turn around and have a look at the meerkats again. We go straight all along here, and there's tons of stuff down there, pelicans and everything, which we'll get to. But look, really cool statues and everything there. Yeah, there they are. And we're going back. And as you can see, there he is. Is that him? Oh no, but there's a birdie up there. There's one with the snout bit. I think it's probably an ibis. And as you go down the path, there is an owl. There is an eagle in there, but the mesh makes it hard to get a photo and picture. But then in the next one, I'm pretty sure there's an owl in that one. And here you carry on going. Then there's one of the big cats in Africa is there. But before, We take a little bit stop and look in here at him. He ended up coming out later for the show. And here there's a pelican, and the nice man told us not to get close because they might bite, because they nearly bit me last time. Yeah, but again, a really nice enclosure. They are doing work on it as well, and they also did come out and fly around in the bird show later, sorry. And we did miss out on the palm civets by looks on the big cats, but you couldn't see them, to be fair, like at all. There's what looks to be an owl. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is in there. Again, bad quality due to the mesh, but you can see him, you get the gist. And then we come back round. Pretty nice walk, 'cause it's a very nice day. Yeah, but please like and subscribe, it benefits my videos, guys. When there's some birds over there, and we look in here, there he is, there's one of my favourite birds, the crane, but it's beautiful. Then there's some birds in there which you didn't really cover, but that's fine. I don't think they were the most interesting, but it'd been nice to have a look. And here the music stops because there's about to be a show that comes on, so please watch that and have a good time.
One second, guys. Wait, there we go. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise about the technology and all that. My name's Sam. I'm one of the zookeepers here at the zoo. I'm going to be your presenter for this show. Are we all having a good day so far? Lovely, that's what we like to hear. So again, welcome to Wild Zoological Park, guys. During the Wild Wood, the show, we're going to show you various species of animal from throughout the world. So fluffy, scaly, feathery, all different types. Of course, throughout the duration of the show, guys, please don't stand up halfway through because there will be birds flying around. There will be mid-air collisions. And please, please, please don't get any food out halfway through. Otherwise, there will be daylight robbery. So you have been warned. So, with that said though, we're going to start with our first animal, and our first animal is going to be a mammal. Our first mammal is a very unique little fella, and his name is Brian. There's a little routine at the front here. We keep it amber.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's an armadillo!
So guys, this is Brian. And can any of you guys tell me what Brian is?
Six-banded armadillo.
That's right, he's an armadillo. Now Brian here is actually a species of armadillo called a greater hairy armadillo.
Don't mind.
So these guys come from South America, countries like Paraguay, Argentina and Chile.
I wondered where he was.
South American species.
You know the hut?
In total, there are actually
He was supposed to be in that hut.
Throughout the entire globe. But they stretch all the way from North America all the way to South America. And of course they're very unique. There's not many animals in the animal kingdom quite like the armadillo. And that's because Brian here, he's got a big shell going all the way down his back to the tip of his tail. And he also has a very big plate on his head. Almost looks like he's wearing a helmet. But that shell and that helmet are actually made from a special material called keratin. If you guys haven't heard of keratin before, that's the same material that your fingernails are made from. Same material as hair molecules as well. It's what Brian's shell and helmet are made from. Of course, it's the main way that he would be defending himself against predators out in the wild. But then there is a little misconception when it comes to the armadillo. Most people tend to think that if Brian here was living out in the wild, and if a predator were to come along, try and catch him and eat him essentially, that Brian would curl up into a ball shape to defend himself. But that's not strictly true, because out of the 21 species of armadillo in the world, only one can do that perfect spherical ball shape, and that's the three-banded armadillo that lives in the USA. But because they can do it, and because of general media, we're made to believe that all armadillos can do it. Again, not strictly true. Brian here, he's a greater hairy armadillo, not a three-banded. He can't do that perfect ball shape. What Brian would rather do, if he's threatened by a predator, Brian's got two sets of very large, sharp, chunky claws on his two front feet. He's going to quickly remove all the soil from underneath him, essentially creating a crater, and then he's going to plant his body as flat to the floor as possible, tucking in his ears behind that big helmet that he has. So, of course, the only thing exposed is that hard exterior shell. Predators can't then get to him, get the idea that he can't be eaten, and leaves him alone. And one thing we're trying to demonstrate with Brian here is that he's going to be going in and out that little plastic tunnel at the front here, and we're going to see if he wants to go in and out that little mound of earth at the back of the theatre. And that's because the armadillos are subterranean mammals, meaning that a lot of the time these guys would be living underneath the ground. And Brian's perfectly adapted for doing so. Again, he's got those two big sets of claws on his 2 front feet to quickly remove soil out of his way. And the armadillos also have a very unique respiratory system. And that is that Brian here can actually filtrate oxygen through soil particles. So let's say if Brian was living out in the wild in his tunnel system underneath the ground, if he had a bit of an accident and had his tunnel collapse and practically bury him alive, he'd still be able to breathe, no problem at all, because that special nose can filtrate the oxygen through the soil. So these guys are perfectly adapted for life underneath the ground. But as you can imagine, if your species has been living underneath the ground for the past few thousand years, your eyesight is going to suffer as a result. It's very dark. So guys, this is Aero and Sybil.
There's about 50 of those.
And of course, the big red parrots. They're actually called, they're a species of macaw called a green-winged macaw. And they get that lovely name for the big green stripe that goes down the back of their wings. Now, Sybil is over there at the rope. She's our female, and Ben has Aero on his arm. And these guys are actually the second largest species of parrot in the entire world. I mean, there's actually only one bigger than these guys, and that's a lovely big purpley blue coloured macaw called a hyacinth macaw. And they are the world's largest. So Aero and Sybil here is still one of the biggest species of parrot that you'll probably ever see. Natively, these guys would be coming from South America, coming from Brazil in the Amazon rainforest. And Aero and Sybil here, guys, they are a lovely married couple. And that is because macaws are actually monogamous, which means when they get with a partner, they form a lifelong bond. So Aero at the front here is our male. He's roughly about 6 years old. Sybil over there, our female, she's 28. So there is a bit of an age gap. There's nothing wrong with an older lady. But the reason that I mention it is because regardless of their age, they've formed that lifelong bond, and these guys will now be together for the rest of their lives. And in a macaw's case, that could be an incredibly long lifetime, because macaws have a very similar life expectancy to us human beings. These guys could live somewhat into their 70s or 80s. So they also live an incredibly long lifetime. But another behaviour that macaws are, and parrots in general, are very well known for, is having very big brains. They're very intelligent species of bird, especially macaws. In some cases, zoologists have actually published work saying the intelligence of a macaw rivals that of a 2 or 3 year old human child. So apparently Aero and Sybil here are about as clever as some of the little ones in the audience here this afternoon. It's not just here saying words, we are going to show you how clever they really are. As you can see Sybil there, she's basically using that big beak at the same time as her hand to get that coconut to come on up. Aero at the front here also knows various different hand signals. One hand signal he knows, it looks something like this, bit of a weird looking Spider-Man. When we do that, it asks Aero to pop his wings out for us. And we ask him to do that so essentially we can make sure all his feathers are in the right place, and let's just give him a nice little health check. But he's a very friendly bird as well, likes to wave hello, just like so. I'm going to switch over again for equal hello for us, Aero, just like that. And another hand signal that he knows is that it looks at something like this. Ben will do it now. That's the hand signal to fly to Ben's hand. And these guys are free flight trained, so all Ben will have to do, pop his hand through that, and that's the hand signal that he can fly to his hand. And the reason that Aero and Sybil know all these different hand signals, again, because it comes down to they've got very, very big brains. They're very intelligent species of animal. Now, another behaviour that macaws and parrots are very well known for is also having the ability to speak. Now, they don't do it for the sake of it, and they've got no idea what they're saying when they say it, but they do it as a way of communication, and it's called mimicking. Aero at the front here, he's picked up on a fair few things we've been saying to him. So he likes to say hello and goodbye. One of his favourite things to say though, we've been saying to him when he was younger, is how days of peekaboo. Now we're listening to this one, guys. Aero, you can say peekaboo for us? Just like that. There's been some cases where we brought Aero out, we sent him to ask say peekaboo, and he said absolutely nothing. Say peekaboo. Well, he's going to finish his mouthful again. Can you say peekaboo for us, Aero? In your own time, mate. Sound like a hot shit, just like that. But again, Aero's got no idea what he's actually saying. That's just how he thinks he's communicating back to Keith Ben. Now, Aero and Sybil here are actually stars of our Wild Wings bird show. So you'll probably without spoiling anything, you'll see them a little bit later on. We are going to wrap it up there with those guys. I'm going to send them on home. This is Grey. Now, Grey here, again, one of our small species of snake that we have here at Wild. The Grey here is called a corn snake. And these guys come from North America in the USA. And Amber's going to come round with Gray.
We have grass snakes as well.
But if you wanted to, Gray
grass snakes as well.
Snakes will be able to handle experiences later on, guys. If you want a bit of hands-on experience, you'll be able to get a chance to handle and touch a snake a little bit later on. But when you look at Gray here, guys, you may be thinking, how on earth would he camouflage out in the wild? And that is because Gray here, this is not actually the natural coloration of corn snakes. Natural coloration of corn snakes are called Carolina corns, and they are usually like a lovely sort of browny reddy colour, so very good camouflage. Gray here has been essentially bred and been bred as a part of the pet trade to look this way. He's a type of morph called a ghost morph, which is why he's been born that lovely sort of grey pearlescent colour. But this is not the natural coloration of corn snakes. This is not how you would find them out in the wild. But the reason that they're called corn snakes is because they literally nailed it on the head when they named the species. They called them corn snakes because that's literally where you can find them out in North America. You find them mostly in cornfields, in farmers' lands. So, but the farmers absolutely love these guys because out in North America, of course, they'll get lots of rats and voles, things that they like to eat in all the crops. These snakes will be eating all those little mice and rats, eating all the pests, eating all the stock. And these guys are constrictors, so just like your bigger snakes, like pythons, how these guys will go about catching their food is that most of the time these corn snakes will lie in wait, sitting amongst the brush on the floor on the farmlands. And then they jump out with their mouth, they grab hold with their mouth, and they wrap their body around it, and that's how they'll essentially catch and eat their prey. And of course, when Gray's coming round, guys, if you have the chance, if you look at his head, you might notice that something's missing. He's got eyes, he's got a nose, he's got a mouth. But if you look at the side of his head, you can't actually see any ears. And that is because snakes technically are a little bit deaf. They can hear, but not very well. But instead, what he has instead is that fork-like tongue that all snakes have. And essentially what she's doing, or what he's doing there, is that he's essentially taking the air molecules out of the air on that tongue to the back of their head, where the snakes have got a special organ called the Jacob's organ, or the sensory organ. And essentially it's helping them taste the world around them, so they get more of a better sense of the world. A Palawan Binturong, and his name is Baloo. Now Baloo here, guys, again, you guys are very lucky, because this is his first show back in the year. So he might be a little bit out of it, he might not be very fit, he might be skipping ab day, but we're going to see how he goes. We're not going to push it too far with him. But today, guys, as I say, is World Binturong Day. So today's all about making people aware of conservation efforts towards binturongs out in Southeast Asia, where these guys come from. Baloo here is a Palawan. The only reason Baloo gets called that is because he literally looks like a strange mix between a bear and a cat. However, the binturongs have got no relation to any bear or any cat whatsoever. They're actually related to an animal called civets. And here in Wild, we actually have another animal, his name's Patrick. He's a palm civet. Baloo's actually got more in common with Patrick, our palm civet, than he does with any bear or any cat. It is literally just a name. But they're probably the funniest nickname the binturongs have is that they also go by the name the popcorn bear. And that's because, if you guys might, Ben, if you can show us your back, please. You'll see those lovely wet damp patches on the back of Ben. Some of you guys might be able to smell a lovely aroma in the air at some point today, but it smells like you've just walked into a cinema. You should be able to smell what smells like freshly buttered, freshly popped popcorn. And if you can indeed smell that lovely fragrance, what you're actually smelling there is indeed Baloo's urine. So it is a bit gross, but we just smell like lovely buttered popcorn, so it's not all too bad. But for this reason in particular, the binturongs are also given the name the popcorn bear. Months off, bless him, he's done super well, so happy with that. What's going to happen now, guys, for the rest of the day? The animal walkthrough is going to reopen for you, so if you haven't been through it already, please go.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the show. I just got this video of the binturong was walking past. And then we go to the lemur exhibit, where you get tons of really good pictures of the lemurs. Look at him, how close you can get. Doesn't even realise you're there. You go all the way around. Then was the lemur sitting on the path in a minute. And there they are, all snuggling in together. There's Pop in the background. There you go. You can see the binturong in the background, because it's National Conservation Binturong Day or something like that. But yeah, as you go further around, there's more lemurs, and I'll let you watch the rest. Look how close we can get to the lemur. Oh my god, wow. And here is another show which is about to come on the screen now, and it's going to be quite a long show because the video is 42 minutes long. There's some stuff at the end of the bird pictures and everything, but yeah, hope you enjoy.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Wild Zoological Park and the Wild Wings Bird.
Oh, look at it. Where is it? There he is.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wild Zoological Park and the Wild Wings Bird Show. As you've seen, we've started off our show with this magnificent bird. Her name is Nina, and Nina is a North American bald eagle. She's just coming on your right-hand side in just a second. Now, we've got a bit of a strange wind direction this afternoon, which means that it's going to be a little bit difficult for Nina to control some of her flight. So as she flies trees and the shrubs looking for the prey, once the prey's out in the open, that is when the females come in to do the dispatch. They've got big old talons to help them with that dispatch. They've got 3 toes at the front, which act like a fork for grabbing hold of his food, and one at the back, which is called the hallux. The hallux is twice as long and twice as sharp and perfect for dispatching prey. I'm a little bit hesitant to take off there because we've got a bit of a tailwind coming in across, as I say. And birds like to fly with the wind in front of them and flying into the wind rather than have a tailwind push them up. I'm getting a little bit low down here from there, so let's see. Can I be able to see? Now he's got 10 big long feathers in that tail. He uses those as a windbreak and a rudder to help slow himself down and change direction, but also to guard his dinner. He doesn't want anybody stealing his food off him. You're going low. Don't panic. So never killed one child. Chill out. It's a joke. It's killed shed loads. And this bird's got amazing vision. Boss here has got eyes like a hawk, and that's because he's a hawk. So his vision is about 8 to 10 times better. That means that he can look out for a wide variety of prey. Small mammals and birds, snakes and lizards, lots of different prey that they can be searching for out in the deserts of Arizona, Mexico and Texas. Now we are feeding our birds, mainly watching a bird of prey display. There's a few birds that are not later on in the show, but this is certainly a bird of prey. He's a carnivore. We don't sugarcoat around that or mamby-pamby around that, folks. It's just nature doing what nature does. We're going to tell you all about the natural world here. And we've discovered here, and he's going to come out and demonstrate a little bit about what a trumpeter hornbill is. Now these birds come from the forests of Africa. They're omnivorous species. They eat a wide variety of prey. They can hunt if they have to. We'll study on, but they'll also
the Lion
eat
King?
insects. So their main diet is actually
what the Lion
flying
King is,
insects,
Bob?
and they're
It's like
specialist
from that.
dragonfly hunters. These birds can catch dragonflies on the wing right out of the air. Now I'm going to try and demonstrate that. I'm trying to work out which way the wind's blowing at the moment. I'm going to go in that way. You come over here, bud. Okay, I'm going to chuck this grape up in the air and see if Mo wants to demonstrate how he can catch food on the wing right out of the air. You ready, bud? Oh, sorry, mate. Did you see that? I couldn't see, the sun was right in my eyes there. So that could have been a dragonfly. That was a really bad throw from me, by the way. But that could have been a dragonfly just minding its own business.
It's in the tree.
Let's see if he wants to come and do that again for us. You're coming down this way, buddy. So these birds from the forests of Africa, places like the Congo Basin, and my favourite thing about them is how they reproduce. You going, bud? I know you can't see me, I have to chop that bit of branch down, aren't we? So they pair for life for starters. They find a nice tree hollow with a hole in it, and they make a nest in that hole, but they don't want any predators getting in the hole to kill the mum and the babies. So they block up the hole with homemade cement. That's made out of mud and spit, that kind of stuff, so the predators can't get in. Predator, as you can see, an absolutely gorgeous bird. She's going to do a few low flies, folks, so just watch your heads as she flies over you. And don't look up with your mouth open. Now you might have heard the expression the wise old owl, but sadly for Zola here, not strictly true. She's a lovely bird, but boy, is she thick. She's not the smartest of birds. I'm not being mean about her, by the way. That's just true of all owls. Birds like your corvids, that's crows, ravens and jackdaws, highly intelligent birds. Parrots are super smart birds, owls not so much. The reason for that is because they've got limited space in the top of their head for a brain. So all the room in their head is taken up by massive eyeballs, doesn't leave much room in the top of her head for a brain. So she's not the brightest of birds, but she has got telescopic lenses for eyes, binoculars for eyes, gives her amazing vision. She's also got amazing hearing. An owl like Zola here can hear a mouse's heartbeat from 20 feet away. Amazing sense of hearing. Owl's got some of the best hearing in the animal kingdom. She's got silent flight because of serrations on her primary flight feathers, and she's also got super sharp talons and a ratchet-like grip in her feet, which makes her an awesome predator. When the bin men go on strike, you've got smells and bacteria and disease and all sorts of stuff. So with the decline of vultures going down, the rise of diseases and bacteria, which is killing all the other wildlife as well. So vultures are vital out in the wild, basically. And Diesel's designed in a way to keep him clean and efficient at doing his job. He's a bin man. He's got a bald head. He's got to stick his head right up inside rotting dead animal carcasses. If you've got a big plume of feathers on his head, you get covered in guts and gore. So nature's designed him in a way to keep him clean and efficient. That's why he's a balding. But have a look at him. He's got a bright pink face, bald head, jet black feathers. People frequently feel inclined to tell us that they think Diesel is the ugliest bird here on the vineyard. It's not true, folks. You pop down the Vineyard Cafe, there's a girl that works there. I'm joking. But if you go for a cup of tea, you'll see what I mean. So, we're going to start off now with Kevin and Patricia, the African whiteback vultures. Diesel, of course, the turkey vulture. Then we've got our team of kites, the black kites and the Brahminy kites. Then we've got the largest free-flying flock of macaws and parrots in any zoo in the world coming out. You're not going to see parrots flying like this outside of the Amazon rainforest. And then we're going to finish up with the pelicans, cranes and storks. Sit back, relax, folks. I'll catch up with you at the end of the show. Welcome to the Wild Wings Grand Finale.
Vultures are nature's clearer.
David Attenborough.
Affectionately
David
known
Attenborough.
as the bin men of the bush, or nature's recyclers. During a carcass feeding, hundreds of these scavenging birds will congregate to devour the carrion. Here at Wild, you can see turkey vultures, black vultures, the ginormous African whiteback vultures, and of course, the Malibu storks. Each has their own niche. The smaller species are able to get into all the little nooks and crannies. They cannot, however, break through the large, tough hides of some carcasses. Instead, they require the help of the big vultures.
Oh, wow.
These birds have incredibly powerful beaks to break through the tough skin of rhino or elephant. And the Malibu storks can use their long legs to wade amongst the vultures, picking up the scraps. This enables the whole scavenging team to pick a carcass clean. These birds may have a dirty job to do, but it's one of the most ecologically important roles in the animal kingdom. With super strong stomach acids, vultures can eat disease and bacteria-ridden meat with no problems. This saves the other animals from the nasties hidden within the carcasses. Real recycling heroes.
Pop behind us.
Nana would be wetting herself.
Oh no.
Kites are mainly insect feeding birds, snatching food on the wing right out of the air. Watch as these aerial acrobats grab food with their talons, tossing it to the beak to eat whilst maintaining flight. Kites are often seen around vultures and
Look at that.
storks.
See?
Oh, the man, folks, the wind's going to push him behind you, so look up and behind. There we go.
See what I mean?
Are blue and gold, scarlet, green wing, military, and eagles macaws. Macaws and parrots are among the most intelligent of animals, with an IQ similar to that of a human child. They pair for life and spend time flying together in formation, wingtip to wingtip. Typically, a pair of macaws will raise 2 or 3 chicks a year. Their long tails aid their flight, acting as windbreaks and rudders to change direction and land safely. Their beaks have tremendous strength and can crack open even the hardest of nuts. These birds can live to be over 18 years old. This, along with their destructive beaks, loud voices and complex behaviour, renders them unsuitable pets. Parrots need to live and free fly in large groups. There are 17 macaw species, most of which feature on the IUCN Red List of Endangered Species. Here at Wild Zoological Park, you can see 3 pairs of critically endangered blue-throated macaws, of which there could be as little as 80 left in the wild. The team here are working to breed these birds to release back into the wild. Approaching the arena in the distance are white-naped cranes, pink-backed
That's them!
falcons, African crowned cranes, and white storks. These white storks forage in large flocks. In folklore, this is the stork that delivers the babies.
Oh my days. See what I mean?
They are migratory birds and have been known to cross the Sahara Desert without stopping for a single break. Once widespread around the UK, these birds were driven out of the British Isles. With the help of zoos and conservationists, this species is making a comeback for the first time in 600 years.
There's parrots in England.
These
Wild
white-naped
ones.
cranes are native to Asia.
Where are
Cranes
they?
are the tallest group of flying birds, and of the 15 crane species, 11 are considered endangered.
There they are.
These crown cranes, so called due to their striking feather headdresses, can be seen living in grass and wetlands in South Africa. They are primitive birds dating back 56 million years. Pink-backed pelicans are widespread across Africa. Famous for their ginormous bills
That's him.
and stretchy flat
That's him.
pouches,
That's him from
these
over
birds
there.
are designed for plunging into water and scooping up a tasty treat of fish. Spectacular in flight and highly sociable, this is one of the most iconic
Can't look behind you.
birds on the planet. critically endangered vultures, cranes and parrots. The reality is, you could be looking at some of the last of these birds on the planet here today. The time to act for wildlife is
Ibis!
right now.
Pop, on her.
All is not lost. Zoos and conservationists around the world are working together.
Look at
The
them
team
all.
here are official conservation partners with the Macaw Recovery Network, working in South America to save parrots and macaws, and VulPro, an organisation on the front line in Africa helping to protect vultures. If you would like to support this work, at the end of the show you may contribute to the Conservation Fund or support the Wild Wings gift shop. 100% of the proceeds will be going towards the conservation programs.
Right, folks, that's the birds and the bird trainers of the Wild Wings Bird Show!
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and even comment and even just watch my video. It benefits me crucially, and have a good day. Bye.